Hello and welcome back to Filmmakers Unleashed with me, your beautiful host Finn, and today I'm joined once again by Robert.
Hello.
I'm telling you now, listeners, we have been sitting here for the past 10 or 15 minutes trying to sort of Robert's shit mic. Oh, it's been the most infuriating thing. Oh, we sorted it though, didn't we?
Kind of.
We kind of sorted it. Oh, Robert, how's things? Have you been?
Uh, been okay.
Yeah,
Had a
yeah.
week full of work.
Oh yeah, I've also been at work. You sound ready for this. Have you just woke up by any chance?
No, I actually woke up in the morning this time.
Oh, did you really? That is unlike you. Yeah, is the TVA going to pop up and arrest one of us? Because this is unlike you, Robert.
They might do.
It is quite strange.
We're just outside my house now, so probably.
I don't think I've ever had a conversation with you within the space of you waking up after 5 minutes. It is quite strange. It is strange.
Yeah, even when we were at college, it'll just be 5 minutes after waking up and being under the table.
Well, yeah, I don't, listeners, I don't know if I've told this story, I might have done. There was a time where we were in college, I had to use the bathroom. I went out the room, did what I needed to do, came back in, and before this, none of us knew where Robert went. We just like, hang on, he's just disappeared. Even the teacher was like, what's happened to him? I don't know. I didn't even see him leave the room. No idea what's happened to him. As I was walking back in the room, from going back for the bathroom, right, I just see a foot sticking out under the desk and thinking, what on earth is that? I turn and look, he's fast asleep under the desk in English, and no one knew he was there other than me. I just sat back there, didn't say anything.
I think that was great.
I thought that was, not only was
I made my little makeup's bed.
I was so impressed because one, you just decided to just, you know what, I'm sleeping now in class under the desk. Two, no one even noticed you were there. Nobody. Even the teacher standing up, right, who can see, the teacher can see all of our feet and all our bags underneath the desk, didn't even see you. That's impressive.
Exactly.
You were sleeping so silently. You were off to the point where you were invisible. It was actually impressive. It was genuinely, I was stunned, Robert. It was brilliant. We've got a brilliant show, haven't we? We've got banter, we got stories, we got Spider-Verse coming up in a few minutes.
We've got mics not working properly. We've got everything.
Well, editing will sort that out. Editing will sort that right out. I can make you sound worse if you want, depending on if you behave yourself. Or I could just cut you completely. I could be talking to myself right now.
Just talking to no one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm not good. And joined by my host Robert. This is No Sound, and today we are discussing. Oh, I tell you what, Robert, I've got some right stories for you. Right, it's been a while since we've chatted, a few weeks. Right, I've been out with on the town, out on the prowl, with the boys. Well, for whatever reason, whenever we go out, it's always I have a minimum of about 7 people, right? So there's always quite a few of us. Whenever we hit the clubs, we get in, we never always get kicked out, and we're always good behaving citizens. But we came into this club, and by the way, every single time we go to one of these clubs with like a big dance floor, I always just annihilate the dance floor. It's ridiculous. It is like boogie nights when I walk in there. It is nuts. It's like I've choreographed it myself. The amount of times that my friends would be like, oh, Finn, try this new move, and my other friend goes, no, Finn's choreographed. He's like, just let him do his thing. And it's every time we go out, there's always a story. Every single time, and it's always revolving me. It's always, Finn, how do you end up doing the strangest things possible? Do you know what I mean? Every single time. But there was this one time last weekend, I was getting my groove on the middle of the dance floor. Right? Rihanna was on, so I was busting a move, and I felt my arm getting pulled in the crowd, thinking, "What the hell's that?" Turn around. No disrespect to her. She was quite a monstrous woman. No disrespect to her, right? Imagine Zilla the Hutt. Okay, again, no, I say no disrespect, but then I just downright calling her a hot. But she was like copying my dance moves and everything, right? So I was like, oh, okay. Well, it struck me at first because everyone around us was roughly like my age, around like 19 to 21, and she must have been about at least 42, right? I know it's very specific, but I can read people's ages. So she was like copying my dance moves. I was like, okay. So I went back to my friend Ryan. She kept pulling me away and copying my moves. And bear in mind, her husband is dancing beside her, right? He looked like one of the Bee Gees. Okay, I'm just painting you a picture. That's just what he looked like. And she started like grabbing me, and she spun me around at one point, and I was just, honestly, my face was a wreck. You know that one painting where it's that screaming bloke on the bridge?
Oh yeah.
That was me. That was actually me.
It sounds like you're part of some sort of fetish thing.
Honestly, I swear,
You know.
she kept like trying to like dance against me, and I was just kind of pushing her away, going back to my friend Ryan, thinking, "Oh God, this is dreadful." Honestly, it was basically, she was like leaving a snail trail around the dance floor. It was awful. She was a hook. Yeah, she had a little. Her husband was like a little monkey on her shoulder, going like Salacious Crumb.
What's that thing from Return of the Jedi?
Salacious Crumb, that's his name. Well, it actually got worse from that, because she went up to my friend Ruth, and she goes, "Oi, are you and him together?" My friend goes, no, he's not together, no. But at that moment, I really wished that Ruth said, yeah, we're going out for a while, yeah. But she said, no, we're not going out. And then she said, no word of a lie, "Oh, well, I'll be honest with you, I'm out with my husband tonight, but I'd much rather go home with him." And then she asked me for my number.
It really sounds like it's part of some kind of kink between them.
What do you mean? Absolutely not. I was there just to annihilate the dance floor. That was my one goal.
I mean, it sounds like the couple had a kink, like a fetish.
No, but a hint of me thought that, and then so I turn around and he's standing there, no word of a lie, like Springtrap from Five Nights at Freddy's, just staring at me, just ready to just claw my face out any second. Honestly, he was just no motion. Honestly, it was just emotionless, just sitting there looking at me, eyes wide, not blinking. And honestly, I ruined his night. I really did. Oh God. We just sent him away after that, but he was not having it. He was just staring at me, ready to just rip my face apart. Oh, dude.
Understandable.
Oh, understand. What do you mean? If it was my fault? Rihanna was on and I was dancing. I did nothing wrong. I was genuinely frightened. I thought he was just like his body was going to open up like the Thing and just take me. It was dreadful. It was really something. But oh God, I love telling stories on podcasts, because the amount of I'm telling you now that there's stories I wouldn't tell to like certain people, and then they'd be like, "Oh yeah, listen to your podcast the other week," and then I remembered, oh God, I remember a certain something that I wouldn't normally say to another human being other than you. Yeah, and I'm just, oh Christ. Oh dude, we've got a great show lined up. We got a great. You know what is also a tragedy when we went to go see Spider-Verse? Is when I was late by almost an hour. But I had a genuine reason, because I was playing Fortnite, but I won. Okay, I won. But the tragedy was I was hungry, so you think, oh, for God's sake, honestly, I could just tell by your face thinking, are we going to see the film in time? I'm thinking, hey, yeah, we'll get me chicken.
Are we going to get in there?
Yeah, I sat down and you were like, yeah, you finished your chicken yet? I'm like, yeah, in a minute, I've only just sat down with it. And then you kind of reminded me of the time, and I had to scoff down that chicken like some sort of animal. Right, it was the noises I was making. I was poking, I was biting, I was scratching, I was slurping. It was ridiculous. I'm just scoffing it down. But I had to leave some of it, didn't I? I had to leave some of my chicken because we were going to be late, and it made me sad. It genuinely made me sad that I had to leave some of my fried chicken, and I didn't eat any of my chips, which upset me. So walking in, it was already a bad experience because I went to get food and I only ate about a third of it. It was really upsetting.
What? Well, something that happened in the cinema.
Happened in the cinema?
With guys that walked past us on the stairs.
Guys that walked past on the stairs? What do you mean?
One of them was like, oh, I don't want to sit with the front man or something. And then like, well, no, at the back, oh yeah.
I recall something.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what it was about though. But I remember us laughing our heads off at what we were saying.
I do. Yeah, what was it? I remember we were just the absolute muppets at the back of the cinema. Oh yeah, what did they say? This is terrible radio right now. We're telling stories and we can't even remember the facts or the key details. I was too busy sulking over me chicken that I had to throw away.
Yeah.
I was too busy. Well,
And then the trailer.
oh yeah, that. Oh god, I did.
I haven't seen that film, you know.
I still haven't seen that film. You know what? I don't really want to go see that
I
film.
want to see it.
Genuinely, I was like, you know what? As much of a comic book fan that I am, I'd much rather go see Asteroid City, and I did.
Yeah.
And it was brilliant, by the way. Yeah, I'm seeing Barbie next week. Actually, it's going to be brilliant. Barbenheimer.
Well, Barbenheimer, yeah. The week after we watched Spider-Verse, I also watched the new Transformers movie, and that's pretty good too.
Was that pretty good? I saw Indiana Jones a few weeks ago. I love how so far
that was like mid.
It was all right. It was all right, to be fair. It wasn't too bad. I need Jaden to go watch it.
Oh, yeah.
Just so I could do a little cast on it. I tell you what, when I went to go see Asteroid City, it was by myself and I had this big load of popcorn. We will, listeners, okay, if you haven't clicked off already, we will talk about Spider-Verse, okay? At this point, just skip forward. Yeah, just skip forward. This is the nonsense section, okay? This is
This is the nonsense section.
No. Well, if they haven't clicked off, they've clicked off now. Oh, this is frustrating radio if you're listening. No, they've turned it off at this point. But I went to Asteroid City and I was in the bathroom before I went to go see it, and I had this big load of popcorn, and all the urinals were full. So I went to step into the middle cubicle, and I finished with what I was doing, and I went to flush, and I dropped the whole bucket of popcorn, as in all of it. I was thinking, oh God. And there was a bloke in the cubicle next to him, and I could see his trainer, and it just went all over his trainer, and it was just silence, and his foot slowly turned like it was something out of like a horror film, like a door slowly opening, and he just slowly started pushing all the popcorn towards my side.
I'm not going to lie, it's a split second. I thought he said he picked one up and ate it.
Oh God, could you imagine? Well, if it was within 5 seconds, understandable. But I only had about
the germs late, don't they?
Yeah. I had about 14% popcorn. That's all I really had. The rest of it, oh God, I went outside and I let someone know, and I was like, I'll drop my popcorn in the bathroom. Oh yeah, okay, get that, mate. Because I couldn't really scoop it up, because if I bent down to do it, I'd slip in it, or I'd drop the rest of it.
You don't want to pick up popcorn off the toilet floor.
Exactly, yeah. Well, granted, I'm sure that the worker didn't want to do that, but that's their job. At least they get paid to pick up my mess. My mess is in the popcorn, not the. I did flush. You know what I mean? Not the actual mess I went in there to get rid of. Right? Should we have a little crack about Spider-Verse then?
Yeah, it was good. All right.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and don't share, because I'd rather another human being not hear the shite we come out with. So you could just do two things: walk away and like the video. Oh, yeah, that's it. All right, Spider-Verse. Hang on, let me take a sip of my Pepsi. This is terrible. Right.
What happened when Jaden isn't around?
Jaden, do you imagine how frustrated he'd be? Listen to this. You're thinking, what the fuck are they doing? Really?
Oh, real quick, has Jaden not seen the film?
He's seen the film, but he just can't be asked to do that. I'll tell you why. Because he's forgotten most of it.
Oh.
True story.
But it's been a while.
Well, he messaged me last night saying, Finn, I'm drunk. I've had 12 beers, so I can't imagine he'd be in any state. Do you know what I mean? I literally can't.
It would be even worse if he was here. He'd be slurring all his words, fading in and out.
He's Australian. He'd be coming out with sayings no one's ever heard of before. Right, let's crack on about Spider-Verse. This film was incredible. It was absolutely perfect.
How did it start? I forgot.
It started with Gwen Stacy, didn't it? Robert! Is he falling asleep? Hello, you there?
Yeah, sound cut out for a second.
It started off with Gwen Stacy, didn't it? Yeah.
Her going of her organ, which is cool. I enjoyed that it gave us that, because one of the things that both me and the first movie is that Rennie's meant to have this, even if it's not romantic, but she's got this close friendship with Peter. But in her world, when he dies, she never really brings it up when she meets this older version of him who's got who's Spider-Man, but it's kind of depressed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Maybe, didn't fix it. It was always there, but kind of brought it back to the forefront a bit more.
Yeah,
also made a relationship with Mars a bit more special as well.
Yeah, I agree. I'm happy that they dove into Gwen's life a lot more than I expected him to. I expected her to have a bigger role than...
It went on quite a while, yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting her to have a bigger role than the first film, but I didn't expect to get that much of her past. Like, I thought we're just going to get sections, like, not massive amounts, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's even her film, which is what I really liked.
It's more of a Gwen and Miles film, I feel, was like. Like, that first, like, how long was that Gwen opening scene? It was like 20, 25 minutes.
It felt a good 25 minutes.
That could have, like, it felt like its own movie, and then we got thrusted into, like, another movie.
Yeah, this film,
it was pretty fucking cool.
The thing is with this film is that it doesn't, I'll tell you this, it doesn't rely too much on fan service in terms of you've got the actual Miles and Gwen setup and the whole Spider Society bit. That's the whole last part of the film.
Yeah, but not just throwing. Well, it's like there's fan service in there, but none of it is like damages the plot of the characters. You know?
No, yeah.
It all really serves as the story and the characters.
Yeah,
some of the funny little gags that last for like 10 seconds.
It's kind of it gives me. So yeah, go on. Yeah.
Like Donald Glover's Prowler.
Oh my god, that was brilliant. We'll get to that more later on. But it gave me. I don't know if you've ever seen Doctor Sleep, where obviously it's the second part to The Shining, but it's very much it's his own film, and then the actual hotel stuff is the last third act of the film. That's what it kind of reminded me, where it's like, okay, we'll give you multiverse and all these different cameos and stuff, but we'll give you an actual reason to invest in these characters and the story before we get to that, which is what I really, really appreciate. It's kind of a reason why No Way Home worked for me. Obviously, there's loads of fan service, but, you know, it doesn't really dive into that until the final act.
Andrew and Toby are like actual characters with their own character arcs.
Yeah.
Which really makes us stand out from like something like, I can't remember, there was another movie where, well, any other movie that tries to do fan service can usually just go, hey, look at this thing from that thing, you know. But there's like, it does that, but it gives you reason to care about adding an extra layer of like emotional weight to it.
Yeah. I agree with that. I genuinely do agree with that. You know what was one of the highlights of Gwen's section was one, the colours and the way her world is set up. Where if you
but like the colouring of the background changes when she was having her argument with her dad. So that kind of like goes from cool to hot in a way, which I thought was pretty neat.
I think her world changes based on emotions.
Yeah.
Which I think is really, really cool, because obviously they could just do another normal universe with just another Spider-Man, but I love that all these different
they went
worlds.
Out of their way to make it visually interesting.
Exactly. You know? It's not just different versions. Yeah, it's not just different versions of other characters. You've got different versions of places we've seen before, and I think that was freaking sweet. Also, Miguel O'Hara's intro, where they're fighting the Archimedes vulture. It's like a Blade Runner kind of. Do you know what I mean? I can't really replicate it with my throat, but it's so cool. I think all the music in this film is absolutely brilliant.
Music's really good. Like just like the first one, I think I might have preferred this one a bit better. Not for any specific reason, but just I jammed a bit better. Especially Miguel's theme. Well, really good.
Oh yeah. Miguel's theme is. I'd even go as far to say it's probably one of the best themes for a comic book character ever. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just so. As a good score is something that stays with you.
Yeah.
And every single character's got their own score in this film, which is why I love characters having their own scores individually, but everything was just so freaking memorable, and it just tied into. Like, if you hear Miguel's theme, it works for his character because he's all futuristic and everything.
Yeah, and like kind of stressed.
Yeah.
And just really angry.
Oh, Miguel O'Hara in that intro, just the way he just glides in, and the way the shot was set up, where like the portal opens up and it's a slow boom, and then he just flies out. Oh, it's just a little things like that where it's just he could have just had him walking in or just jumping out from some ledge.
Actually walked in.
He's just how's it going?
I'm here to help. Bye.
But yeah, diving into to Gwen's character, I think was really interesting. I think it's what it needed, because if Gwen just had the same kind of screen time and arc as the first film,
You wouldn't really care about her relationship with Miles that much if they did that.
yeah,
Like, you really need this to understand Gwen a bit more, understand the backstory, and understand why she like kind of gravitates towards Miles more. If you think about it.
yeah. Plus,
Like, if you didn't get it right, you wouldn't really understand. Because I know some people in the first movie didn't really care about the whole Gwen and Miles subplot. But in this one, it's really at the forefront. And if you didn't care about the relationship, it wouldn't work for the movie. Because of the beginning of the movie, spend time building up her motivations, you really do care about it. If you didn't before.
Exactly. And everything they have going on with her dad as well. It genuinely feels like her and Miles are the main character of this film. Because she gets so much screen time to the point where, like, the movie's almost half an hour in, and we haven't even seen Miles yet.
Yeah.
And
but it's like, whilst I was running, when it would turn up, I wasn't like, oh, let's move on. I don't want to see this. I want to get to Miles, you know? It was like, oh, damn, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, how Miles ties into it.
Yeah, it good out. It explores her past as well as, you know, obviously because they only hint a bit what happened with the Peter storyline. You know how it ended, but you actually get to see it play out, and you see her relationship with her dad and everything, and how
that's very devolved.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was, and Haley Steinfeld obviously does a freaking great job. Everyone does a great job in this film. I think, you know.
And especially Lego Spider-Man.
Legos. Oh my god.
You were the standout.
Yes, you know what? We'll get to. I think we'll start. We'll go with Miles' story, and then we'll talk about a different Spider-Man variants towards the end, because I think. Yeah. That'll be pretty sweet. So yeah, when we get to a year later, seeing Miles doing, you know, he's now the full-on Spider-Man of this city. Yeah. Obviously, Shameik Moore is excellent in the film. Animation as well. Oh, it's
like, it looks like they've improved it since the last time as well, I think.
Well, last time was
the game.
Yeah, last time was literally peak animation. Like, it's to a point now with the animation where it's like, how can you really get better than this?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's
hopefully
like
the employees are being treated well.
Oh, you know what? That does make me sad, actually, because whilst I love the film, it just makes you appreciate the artists and the animators and everyone working behind the scenes even more. And you know, obviously I respect everyone working on the film, but in terms of the people behind the scenes, you know, controlling all the animators and everything like that, please delay the next one so you give animators and literally everybody working on Across the Spider-Verse Part 2, Beyond the Spider-Verse, that's what it's called, please give them more time. You know, because it's not nice seeing people overworked and having to do crunch. And
I have a feeling that Beyond the Spider-Verse might get pushed back to 2025 or 2026.
And I hope it does. I really genuinely hope it does. I'd rather have people have a lot more flex time and have more time with their families, can actually provide.
With the strikes, are any of the animators part of any of the guilds that are striking at the minute? Or they still continue to work?
It's at the minute it's only the writers and the actors at the minute. Yeah, no, not nothing too important to the film industry. Nothing too important.
No, not at all.
No. Pay your writers and pay your actors, Hollywood. Anyway, back to Spider-Verse. Sorry, we had a little rant that has to be said.
Little tangent.
Just a little relevant tangent is what we're going to call that. But yeah, it's great seeing Miles like use. How do I put this? In the first one, he wasn't all with it with his powers and the way he swings.
Just powers and then found out the multiverse existed.
Yeah, it's just the way he swings. It's obviously, it looks like he's not caught up when he's using his swinging compared to Peter and Gwen. He's making little slip-ups and mistakes, but this one, obviously, he's like...
Well, he's still got that confidence, you know, in fighting crime.
Oh, yeah.
When he's fighting smart in the shot.
Yeah.
And the neighborhood seems to like him, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. But it's just cool just to see the little things where the animators go, okay, now we Spider-Man for a year now, we're going to completely overhaul the way he swings, the way he acts throughout the city. You can't just replicate the same moves and everything. Like, it's literally an entire new way of moving because this is a different Spider-Man a whole year later. He's improved in his abilities, his powers. It's brilliant. I think it's really, really good. And I think the way that his relationship with Gwen in this film is obviously it's grown because they haven't seen each other in a whole year, and I like the fact that they're not. It's not a complete romance. It's just hints of it.
It's just they have a little crush on each other at the minute.
Yeah,
they kind of understand each other,
Yeah, but I do think the way
it kind of develops more in the movie.
Yeah. I think it was excellent the way it's done, specifically in the whole scene where the shot of them underneath that side of the building.
Gargoyle.
Yes, they're underneath the gargoyle. Yeah, and the way the camera shifts and it looks like everything's upside down, and it was brilliant the way. Cool. It was excellent the way it was done. I think it was. It is the little things where you could have just had them just sitting down talking, but they decided to make it a lot more cinematic by just having two Spider-Man.
Only spider people could do that.
Yeah, just hanging upside down, having a chat, and the way the cinematography just was rejuvenated that entire scene. It just made it feel so cinematic. Just two people having a chat upside down. It was excellent, and that's probably one of my favorite scenes in the film, considering the amount of crazy shit that goes on in this film. Just two people having a conversation. It was excellent. Honestly, I never see the chemistry all the actors have together. It's fantastic.
Really good as well.
Honestly, it's not one of the best animated movies of all time, but it's one of the best superhero films ever made. Yeah. And that's not even a cold take. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's the most common take at the minute.
Yeah.
This is one of the best movies.
Yeah, it's brilliant. You know what else is brilliant? The Spot, yes. Oh.
This guy started off as like a generic villain of the week and became this multiversal devourer by the end of the movie.
Yeah, it was...
What a glow.
It was really interesting to see the relationship between Miles and the Spot evolve, but also it was interesting.
I should be like, who the hell are you? I don't know this guy. I was like,
I loved all their scenes together, but I think it was strange to see the audience and a character's relationship evolve like that, because you just think he's just going to be a throwaway character at the start of the film, really. But then as it goes on, he's built up to be this reoccurring problem. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those things where you just think, it's just going to be some generic villain that he'll fight. But then I can imagine an everyday audience goer is not going to expect the Spot to just be this wacky, cartoony character. Yeah, just this wacky guy, just to be this genuine threat. Do you know what I mean? It was interesting to see.
I think he even disappears from the movie for a good chunk of it towards the end as well.
He does,
when he gets stitched out for Miguel going on like his rampage. Down Miles.
It was. I thought it was genuinely quite chilling to just see this goofball just turn into this absolute just force of nature towards the entire multiverse. To the point where towards the end, it's like, this guy ain't joking anymore. He's genuinely serious.
Yeah, this guy's genuinely, I swear. We need to get him.
And his score was thrilling. It was terrifying. It was genuinely. It was a terrifying score to just go from this guy who didn't have a score or an intro. The only score that was playing when he's first introduced towards the convenience store at the start is like hip hop that was playing towards when Miles is being introduced again.
Which is meant to be more. Yeah, it's meant to be more showing off who Miles is, not him.
Yeah, and then
when towards the end it switches to being about the Spot.
Yeah, but I thought it was brilliant the way it was handled. The fact that it was funny how it was the guy who got the bagel thrown at him in the first film.
Yeah, this random extra that they put in the last movie. How long do you think they had that in mind in the last movie, or do you think they just made it up?
I don't know because they did have a lot of things in mind towards the ending of the film,
Hmm.
which there's a good shout that they could have.
At least a vague idea.
I reckon that they had a
Maybe it
vague
was like
idea.
it could be an idea like, oh, the next villain of the movie is going to be one of those scientists from Fisk's lab, but we didn't know who. But then when we rewatched the movie, we were like, him, the bagel guy.
The
It'll be
bagel
him.
guy. It's one of the
He will
things
be
that
the nemesis.
the nemesis, the bagel guy. But it's the fact that if you go back and watch the first film, it's something your eyes always get drawn to now towards the back. You think, oh, that's the
Yeah, you
spot.
always look for him.
You know that the Capra meme goes, oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Where it was pointing at the TV. But yeah, the spot was freaking terrifying towards the end, and I loved the
powers are cool as well.
yeah, and I think the way that his design works in this form of animation, with all the different swirls and they're all constantly moving, and he kind of looks like a character like that's like sketched, and that's kind of replicated in the way that his flashbacks work.
His spots, like his black spots, kind of look like ink blots in a way, you know.
Yeah, I was expecting Spider-Ham to just crop up out of nowhere and just get a magic eraser from his pocket and just erase him like that. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe that's going to be the fear. You just erase his spot.
In the start of the first film, he just pulls out this giant pencil. That would be brilliant. But yeah, I never expected the Spot to be now one of my favorite comic book villains. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just this guy. You just say, "Oh, it'd just be so."
Hit with a bagel and then became a multiversal destroyer.
Oh, he was brilliant in the film. He was great. Well, he's not the only villain in the film. We've also got.
It really helps as well that his voice isn't very threatening. He just sounds like some guy.
Yeah, I think.
But then through his actions, he slowly becomes this unhinged lunatic.
I think that's what makes it scary. The fact that he's just some comic.
It's one of those things that, like, I feel like we don't think about a lot when we watch superhero movies. That the villains are often just not all the time, but someone that's like scientists or whatever, or rich people. And we don't really think about how they were just some guy who had a thing happen to him, and now they're a villain. Yeah, you really do get the sense that this is just some guy you could bump into on the street, you know?
Yeah,
and then get his powers randomly one day from some street accident.
I think going from what you said is the fact that he is genuinely just this comical guy, and now he's at a complete 180 to the point where you can literally see his character go from one extreme to another, where he's no longer just this. Yeah, he's no longer just this funny guy for Miles to just punch and then swing off to go back to college. He's generally just. That's what makes it scary, the transition. And it was done really well, but again, he's not the only.
It feels like what pushed the Spot into becoming right is Miles just ignoring him. You know, he's like, because from the Spot's perspective, Miles made him who he is. He's the reason he is that way, and then it's just like, oh, I don't know who you are, dude, and that's like kind of enrages him.
Oh, because of that fucking bagel.
I feel like because of one bagel. So it feels like, in a way, I feel like Miles would feel like he is responsible for what's happening now with the Spot.
Yeah, I think it was brilliant the way it was handled. Honestly, I'm excited for to see where he ends up in Beyond the Spider-Verse. But like I was saying, he's not the only villain in this film. We got freaking Spidey 2099.
Yeah, the mad lad
who's not in it a lot, but neither is the Spot. But the thing is, I like the fact that you take characters who don't even have that much screen time. You give them.
Make them memorable.
You make them memorable to the point where it feels like that they're in the entire film.
Yeah.
It's like Green Goblin's not in No Way Home for quite a bit.
Well, you know him, you know.
Yeah.
You feel like he's in the entire thing.
Exactly. Is
both through the writing and the acting performance.
And Oscar Isaac did a brilliant job. He was perfect.
Yeah. Oscar Isaac is just a really fucking good actor in general, you know. Like, I didn't realise how good he was until I saw him in Moon Knight. And I was like, oh, Jesus, this guy can actually act.
I obviously I knew him as Poe Dameron from. I say if I know him personally, I don't. I knew him as Poe Dameron from Force Awakens. I've seen him in Drive, and he was really good in Drive. He's been cast in all sorts these days. I know he's going to be like Solid Snake. at some point. I don't know.
Oh, are you playing Solid Snake?
I don't know if that film's still happening or not because that was announced ages ago. But you
I
know,
typically assume films announced ages ago just won't be happening.
but he's being cast a lot these days, and obviously he's great at Moon Knight, and he's even better in this. And also, he's ripped in this film. Miguel O'Hara is ripped, but he's huge compared to the credit scene.
Yeah, like he buffed up in between movies.
He did. Thing is, he's not as much a villain, but he's a character that you can get behind.
Yeah, it's like he's not even really doing anything villainous. He's just kind of a dick to people.
Yeah, but you understand exactly what he's doing. Do you know what I
I don't
mean?
think that like he was the most serious one. He didn't make any jokes, but any jokes involving Miguel was about how serious he is. Which I thought was really funny.
But yeah,
like when he first meets Miles and he's just coming down on that elevator thing, standing with his back henched, and Miles and Grant's like, oh, "Is he gonna get here any time?" And Grant's just like, "Oh, he's just this thing, just let him do it."
He just fucking throws a monitor at him. But he is great as a character. You completely understand his motivation. The film literally goes from a Miles and Gwen sort of love story of a Miles coming of age to the point where the moment he's introduced properly, the film does a complete 180 and the plot just flips upside down the moment he's introduced. That's how much of an impression he gave. He literally changed the entire course of the plot once he showed up.
Yeah.
And the whole canon event thing was by the way, the term canon event is just genius. You and me looked to each other when we went to see it. It was just like they used the term canon in terms of things like that. That's great.
Yeah, in an actual in-universe thing.
And oh, hang on, we'll we'll touch on this now. I was thinking about when we're gonna touch on the other versions of Spider-Man. We'll touch on that in a minute. But yeah, I love how it kind of. Here's the thing with the canon events is that one, it doesn't retcon anything in the multiverse. If anything, it builds upon it with new rules and stuff because it's great how
it makes sense.
Yeah, I love how Marvel Studios actually collaborated with Sony on this to make rules and certain things work in terms of the multiverse setup in Loki and other projects to fit with this. And obviously you've got like the actual flow of time, and that's actually showed from Loki, and you and me kind of looked at each other thinking, holy shit. And obviously you've got the rules of the multiverse set in other projects, like you've got incursions, you've got what's it called in Loki, where if you break out of doing something, then what's it called? Am I just shouting rubbish? You've got like the incursions, and then you've got the absolute point in time from What If. Do you remember when if you change something at a certain point in time that has to happen, then the whole universe gets destroyed? I love how they're building up on these rules for things.
I can't think what it was called.
I can't. We are rubbish.
What If was like 5 years ago, man. I can't remember.
It was a while ago. You guys know what I'm on about. There's rules to the multiverse. I just can't remember the names of them sometimes. But obviously you got canon events where now if you break out of one of these events that must happen in a person's life, then obviously the entire universe and the multiverse gets destroyed. I think that's a really unique idea.
Apparently.
Yeah, apparently. But
we don't know for sure.
We don't know for sure, but I do think it's really interesting how Spider-Man as a character is quite tragic, where you've got all these different things that happens in Peter Parker's life, where now it's a thing that must happen to all versions of Spider-Man, and they're all kind of sharing this depression, this sadness between all of them because it's something that has to happen and they can't stop it. I think that's a really unique idea.
Yeah.
And how it's kind of, can you actually change your fate? And is it worth risking that?
Yeah. Have to give in to fate or not.
And I think
could be an interesting idea.
And I think it is a really interesting thing that they do with the setup before going into explaining canon events, because obviously there's a lot of conflict with Miles and his parents and how they they're confused with what he's up to during the day, and he's Spider-Man, but obviously they can't tell him. But he loves his parents, but he's frustrated, and there's the whole. You what? Sorry.
Because the parents got a lot more screen time in this movie, and it really makes sense when they start explaining the canon events as well.
Yeah. Like I said, it makes sense with them to have a lot more screen time when it goes into the whole canon event of one of your parents or parental figures must die. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw someone suggest that they could get around it by having his dad just quit the police, so therefore he's no longer a captain.
Yeah.
If you do that'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, it couldn't just be like, oh yeah, Dad, just don't be a captain anymore.
Yeah, sure, son.
Or just be like, Dad, I'm Spider-Man, don't be a captain or you will die. And
or maybe it'll be maybe they'll do that. If Dad be like, no, I have to, it's my duty. I can't just skirt this responsibility because I might die.
You
know, they could do it something like that. And then he get his own version of with great power comes great responsibility from that.
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
Yeah. Well, honestly, there's from the ending of the film, there's like a million ways where it could go. But I like the fact that our hero, Miles, has been presented with a choice where it's either save his dad, and if he does it, the entire multiverse could potentially be destroyed. I like that conflict because it affects other people, where if he does it, it could potentially branch off and destroy other realities. Yeah. And
it's a proper Spider-Man choice.
It is. It's brilliant. And then you got other characters who are dealing with the ramifications of their canon events already taking place, and they're trying to let Miles know.
Are more like, because I've already had their kind of events take place, are more preferring Miles to let it happen. But it's like, well, we've gone through it, we've all had to do it, so you've also got to do it.
Yeah.
Type thing, you know?
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily make the other Spider-Men bad people.
You make them bad people, no.
No, it's just them trying to. Obviously, they're trying to save people.
Essentially, save the world by letting this happen.
Yeah.
They have to go through it because that's the code of Spider-Man. Also, you have to leave someone close to you.
Yeah. Also, that whole scene where they're explaining the canon event with all the different versions of Spider-Man, you see Andrew and Toby crop up, which even made me kind of just sit back in my chair thinking, "Oh my god!"
That was surprising, man, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was.
It makes me wonder if we're going to do something with Tom Holland Spider-Man in the next movie. Maybe just get him in there. Not like in the movie, but like if they show off more stuff from his Spider-Man.
Yeah,
there was like nothing from in this one.
Oh, I think there was one shot where it was him holding the glider against Green Goblin. I believe there was one shot. I could be wrong on that. I believe there was one shot.
I don't remember if there was one.
I'll have to double check, but it is cool seeing literally more or less every single variation of Spider-Man be in this film.
But you know when it shows from above Uncle Ben getting shot, it's Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man?
Mm.
Do you know it's not actually from the movie? It's from the video game.
Yes! Oh, I'm so happy to see that.
So they just made the game and the movie just two separate continuities.
They literally have everything.
Probably makes sense, yeah.
If they're even including like old games, like there was even a shot of, I believe it was from one of the really, really old games from like 2005 or some shit like that. They literally have everything. They have, like you said, they have the Lego Spider-Man, who was actually animated by a 14-year-old YouTuber.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which is insane, because I was just subscribed to him for a while actually, because I actually liked all of his stuff. And when someone was posting around thinking, "Oh, it was him," I was thinking, "No, there's no way. It's rubbish. There's no way." But it actually was. I'm thinking, "Oh my god!" Imagine going to school being like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't do my homework last night. I was animating for Spider-Verse.
I was working on a movie, you know.
Yeah, I was.
You know, heard about Spider-Verse?
Yeah, I was animating a Spider-Man movie. Sorry, I couldn't do my history homework, Mrs. Brown.
Well, we ain't got time to go fan for it. No, it's only got in contact with me. Yeah.
Well, I bet he could actually use that as an excuse because he's probably under NDA or something like that. Could you imagine? His classmates are thinking you're talking such shit, mate. You're talking absolute rubbish. Oh, and then we had PS4 Spider-Man as well. Yuri Lowenthal, that was brilliant. Spectacular, that was a big one.
He's so tiny.
He is. He's really small. He even got the. What is it? Josh. What's his name? Josh Keaton. Yeah, Josh.
I can't remember. Yeah, Joshua.
Yeah,
Joshua Keaton, something like
something like that. He even had a few lines, and he even had in that bit where explaining can events, you got the bit where it pans out and there's all these different Spider-Men holding like dead Uncle Ben's and Captain Stacy's and stuff. He was even there with his Captain Stacy, which actually wasn't shown in the show, so it builds upon his series from being cancelled a little bit, which is kind of cool. And then
wasn't there a scene? I might be misremembering. Wasn't there a scene where it showed Andrew over Gwen's body, and then it cut to like Spider-Gwen reacting to it? Was that a scene? I can't remember if it was.
I
Am
don't.
I gaslighting myself?
I think you might be gaslighting yourself. Potentially, because I definitely would have seen that online. Definitely.
Did I just make up an entire scene in my mind? I convinced myself it happened.
I think you did, but the power of editing, someone can make that work. With the power of editing, someone can make that work.
They can, yeah.
But God, who else?
Happened.
Who else was there? There was like the Web of Shadows Spider-Man. There was oh yeah, I like Ben Reilly. He was cool.
Oh, he was good. Voiced by Andy Samberg, I believe.
Thing is, with all these different variations, we didn't even get to Hobie and Pavita, did we? But with not yet. Oh god, one of the best characters. Even with all these different variations of Spider-Man, the studio had the balls to give him different animation styles. Do you know what I mean? It's like you look at Ben Reilly compared to.
He looks like a 90s comic.
He does, yeah.
With all his muscles. I'm being so edgy and depressed.
I'm using my muscles to constrict your biceps. Or whatever he said.
No, they change everything he does.
He is... it just made me happy just seeing all these different versions on screen. And
a lot of Ben Reilly fans didn't like him because he's just like a joke, but I didn't mind. I just thought it was kind of funny. You know?
Yeah, sometimes
he's meant to be 90s with Ben Reilly. He's not meant to be an actual character.
Like, sometimes there's not enough time for every single character to have their own arc and everything. Do you know what I mean? But the characters who did have quite a big inclusion were India Spider-Man and freaking Hobie, Spider-Punk.
My two favorite characters.
Spider-Man India is amazing. What did you just say? Tai Chi? You're saying TT?
I believe he is voiced by the guy that plays Dopinder in Deadpool, isn't he?
He is. He did a magnificent job.
I did think I recognised his voice when we watched it at the cinema, but I was like, I don't know if that's him or not. When I found out when we went home, I was like, oh, it is him. I knew it.
His universe is cool.
Really good job.
He did, yeah. He had a glow up in design as well.
I wonder what happened to his universe then, like fully, because they stopped his canon event.
I don't actually know. Maybe it's just a big hole in the ground.
Maybe. We know that the Spider Society was like trying to fix it, but other than that, we don't know what actually happened to it.
Yeah, I don't actually. Maybe we'll find out in the next one. But what was it? Well, Mumbattan, his universe was freaking cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Hobie Brown. Yeah, I love how all these different variations, they have different abilities and way that they actually function as Spider-Man. Like he swings around on his little bracelets, like he's in like the circus or some shit. It's wicked.
It's really cool.
Hobie Brown, oh my god, best character.
Yeah, the only character better than Indian Parker is Hobie Brown.
Hobie Brown.
I did not expect to love as much as I did, but it came out and I was like, I fucking love this guy.
I tell you what,
resonated with me so much.
I tell you what, there was a few, there's little stands that advertise like films when you go out of the cinema. There's like a big like cardboard cutout stand of Spider-Verse. Loads of people were nicking the Hobie Brown ones, and people would post it, and someone would respond saying, "To be honest, that's what Hobie would have wanted."
Yeah.
I don't believe in comedy. Just kidding.
It's a mouthful for capitalism.
Would you in a band? I don't believe in consistency. This guy's killing me.
I don't believe in teamwork. Just kidding.
You know, they had a whole different team doing his animation style that took years.
Oh, did it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
where the thing is that's insane to follow. There's just one character that needs to be animated a certain way, and they went the extra mile to just, you know what, let's do it. Let's animate him with all these different, like he changes colors, he changes like
Yeah.
it's a little stack things out.
Newspaper cutout.
He does. He's the thing is the design team, they give characters such a cool design, because in the comics, like, obviously Spider-Man India is just Spider-Man but with like a little, you know, he's got a little thing around his waist, and Spider-Punk has got the little things coming out of his head and like a little waistcoat. But this they've redesigned the mask and the whole waistcoat and the colors and the spikes out of his head. The designs are so cool, and it's incredible just seeing them on the big screen, and you feel like they're from a different universe with the way that they look and they act and the way that their bodies move around with the world, and just the little static things that happen when Hobie plays his guitar. It's insanely cool. And Daniel Kaluuya was awesome.
Yeah. Was that him? Voicing him?
That was him.
Ah. Damn.
And you...
Makes me like him even more then.
He was great. I love when Miguel goes, and you! I was trying to annoy you. I just can't. I'm not even here, mate. Hope you're not helping. Good.
You know what I love? That he just walks out of the movie. Like when all hell goes loose, he just straight up walks out of the movie.
He just leaves. He's like, you know what? I'm sick of this. I'm actually sick of all this shit. I'm leaving. Just for the record, I'm not here.
Throughout when he was in the by the society place, he was stealing equipment off of stuff, and you just think he's doing it to be a dick. But at the end of the movie, you find out, he's actually making his own like multiversal hopper thing to give to Gwen, which I thought was a really cool.
You can go
payoff.
Yeah. Wait, why are you stealing stuff off the wall? I don't know. I couldn't give a Scooby-Doo, mate.
Yeah.
It is brilliant. That entire chase scene, by the way, in the Spider Society was freaking insane.
Yeah. All of the people of that world thought when they thought these different Spider-Men.
Well, first time I saw it in the trailer, I was thinking, Miles, what have you done to piss off literally every single version of Spider-Man?
Like, do you think they know? Like, the people in Miguel's world know about the Spider Society?
I don't know, actually.
They're just, like, living in this giant skyscraper, essentially.
I don't know, actually. I don't know. I thought you were asking me if the people in the Spider Society, they know they're in the Spider Society. I was thinking, well, of course they do. I was like,
no. Like, I want to know what they believe. It'd be like if, like, in real life, we had a superhero, and it was like there's just this town in London, but all these different superheroes with the same power just live. It'd be really weird.
It'd be a big ass electrical bill, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Just a massive electrical bill. But that chase scene with the music and the fact that, like, as he was running, there was a different version of Spider-Man popping up like every few seconds. Like, there was a cat, there was a T-Rex, there was a werewolf, there was a freaking Arthur Morgan one on a horse. Do you know what I mean? And they had even like the 60s Spider-Man.
All the creative ways they got with it.
Oh, it took them like 4 years to animate that. It's ridiculous how cool. It's probably one of my favorite superhero scenes ever, and films. That one scene, I've non-stop rewatched it. It's excellent.
It was very well animated. Very well animated and choreographed, I'd say.
Exactly.
Especially when Miguel, chokeslams Miles onto the train thing, whatever it was.
He was like, you're a twat. Stop doing all this shit. It's something along the lines of that. Yeah, it's something along the lines of that. But it was, I like the fact that Miles isn't technically supposed to be Spider-Man.
Yeah, like, at least not this Miles.
Yeah.
Like,
obviously, MCU, like hello.
Outline.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like an outlier. Because he gets his power from a different universe, essentially.
Yeah. But that was a curveball. That kind of popped up out of nowhere. I was thinking, whoa, hang on. But from like Earth 40, yeah. Well, when he ends up in Earth 42 at the end, where he's by the way, that was a great reveal, by the way, when he's in Earth 42 towards the end. But as towards
Oh, that was great.
yeah,
The suspense was really great there.
when he's swinging towards his house, when he gets in that universe and the rain and all like the green kind of parts of the universe, and then all these different things start happening for like he's getting flashbacks to when people are telling him stuff from the past, where he gets like reflections of Spider-Pig and Noir, and then you get all the spot stuff happens on the screen. Oh, it's excellent. And obviously, like you said, the Spider Sense, where they played a part of the score from the first film when he slowly realizes, because I was thinking, hang on a second, I could have sworn his mum knows who Spider-Man is. I'm thinking, why this woman does not care? Do you know what I mean?
Not only that, but like before the reveal happened, you kind of like start to think, wait, something's not right. Is this the right universe? You know?
Yeah.
Before the way they built that up, and it was just all around a good thing.
The ending was fucking cool.
Going back just a bit, it was interesting how, because they said that when Miles got bit by the spider and he became Spider-Man, the Peter Parker in that universe died. So it's kind of interesting the way that works. Because it implies that if Miles never got bit, then that Peter Parker would have lived, you know?
Yeah. I agree with that.
At least that's what Miguel believes would have happened.
Sorry, whilst you were explaining that, this really cool Lego Marvel set I've wanted to be leaked for quite a while has been leaked. Sorry, I'm quite happy now. I did hear what you said. I just got really happy. Oh, it's the Lego Marvel minifigures series 2. The little blind bags that you get.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we're finally getting a Lego Moon Knight. That makes me very, very, very happy. But yeah, everything you just said, spot on. Well done. Sorry, I'm just really happy now.
I can't even remember.
Right, let's pick up from the ending. Sorry, not to poo-poo what you said. Yeah, with the whole Peter Parker being gone from that universe. Yeah, it was Miles Prowler. Yeah, like you said, from the whole Peter Parker being dead in that universe, where he was supposed to be destined to be Spider-Man. It kind of it's some weird noir, weird universe now, where it's like none of the events. Yeah, it's like none of the events that universe should have taken place, but they all do, and it's a strange universe.
I wonder how they're gonna fix that, or if they do fix it, you know? Like, do they do something to fix it, say that Matt does get bitten by a spider, do you think, or not?
I don't know, actually. I think there's a million ways it could go. It's I don't know. I can't imagine it'd be soon that we get to see the next one. Yeah, I can't imagine it'd be soon that we get to see the next one. So I can imagine it'd be a few years. We're going to be guessing exactly what the hell's going to be happening with the plot and the next one. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's a million ways it could go, but it's like I didn't even expect Miles to be Prowler towards the end. That kind of just that is the definition of multiverse, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Different events taking place and characters being other characters they're not supposed to. It's great, and I'm curious to see how that's gonna go. I mean, is he an anti-hero? Is he a straight up villain in that universe?
You know, if he could be an anti. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I want to say anti-hero.
I'm with you on that.
I'm not sure.
I reckon there might, at the start of the movie, there'd be like a, all right, let's do this one more time when it's Miles as the Prowler to see what's been cracking off. Or, yeah, or if they just build it out to be more ominous.
What, it's meant to be like, it leads us into this like kind of sense of like kind of trust and kind of not trust them.
Or like, yeah, or if they do that, yeah, go on.
This Miles is actually evil, but it's Uncle Aaron that's the more like stable-headed guy, you know? He's more the anti-hero, and maybe he helps our Miles in the end, because maybe the other Miles wants to take over his place and his role or something.
Yeah, maybe because like you said, there's like a million ways it could go, because it's such an ominous ending that literally anything could happen. And yeah, he's got a kick-ass design as well. I do like Prowler Miles.
Second with the ending, we do have that like ragtag team of spider people.
Oh, they've got all my
So they just got
favourites.
man.
If they got on that team, Robert, remind me if we
Peter
got.
B. Parker,
Yeah.
Spider Noir, Hobie, P- Indian Spider-Man, Gwen, Spider-Ham, Penny, who else? Have I said them all? Can't remember.
I think you said them all. Yeah. Peter Porker, I love. Oh wait, Spider Bite is on there as well.
Spider-Bite.
Love a bit of Spider Bite. Yeah. Peter
I
Porker.
do love the fact that Hobie's just on the team. Like, he meets Miles and is instantly like, yeah, he's the best man of company, you're going to help him no matter what.
He's great. I hope he just goes against the entire laws of the universe and the multiverse just to help his boy Miles. Because why? He just doesn't care. Do you know what I mean? He just does.
He doesn't care.
He just does what he wants. His character, it just switches from one thing to another. But that's just Hobie. Hobie is a state of mind. Hobie is Hobie's love. Hobie's life.
And the best member, Mayday Parker.
Mayday's funny as fuck. I love Mayday.
You know what? This movie came out at the perfect time for Spider-Man fans. Because have you been keeping up with what's happening in the comics regarding Peter Parker?
I heard people are very unhappy.
Yeah, I've been watching, like, seeing for months what's been happening. So, like, when this movie came out and there was a Peter Parker in a happy relationship with MJ, and we had a daughter, people were like, how can the movie tell a better Spider-Man story than the actual comics, you know?
Yeah.
And this wasn't even about Peter Parker either.
Mm.
And they still managed it.
Can't believe it.
But being like a dad Peter with MJ, well, not MJ, Mayday, was really cool and kind of makes me want to see one in live action.
Yeah, I reckon we'll probably get to that at some point. Depends if Holland still wants to be Spider-Man.
Well, they don't even need to do with Holland. They could just do like a Spider-Girl story with Sony.
I mean,
the only problem with that is it'll be Sony. And it's live action.
I don't trust live action Sony. I really don't. I'm not excited for Craven, but it's been a pretty great year for Spider-Man.
Didn't he get bit by a tiger and get powers?
No, he gets like a lion, a drop of lion blood falls into his body, and he becomes like Craven.
I would prefer if he was just a really good hunter.
I prefer if they just gave Marvel Studios Craven, to be completely honest. How about Sony makes their own live-action Spider-Verse? You know, you've got Spider-Man movies, but they're not all Peter Parker. There's like you could do a 2099 that is like Blade Runner inspired. You could do
doing them. Did you see they're apparently working on a live-action Miles Morales one?
Yeah, that'll be MCU based. I'm pretty sure. I hope so, at least. I hope so, at least. But dude,
if they did live action of alternate Spider-Man, like I think there's some characters they could make good movies out, like Spider-Gwen or Black Cat. But for some reason, Sony are just against good ideas and instead choose to do this with anti-hero Sinister Six bullshit.
AVA Rad, hello. God, absolute
I
moron.
don't understand the management of live action Sony stuff.
I don't trust them. I don't actually trust them because it's the same creative team, and whenever there's a new complaint or a new idea that is just trashed by fans, they go, "Oh, how about if we do it all over again? Maybe you'll forgive us." No.
The only one I'm mildly interested in is a Madam Web one, because I feel like has an interesting premise, even though I get the feeling it will still be bad.
Thing is, I'd like things different. I like new ideas. I just want them to be good ideas. It's not much to ask for, to be honest with you. But wrapping up Across the Spider-Verse, on a story level, it's incredible. On its cinematic and visual level, it's basically perfect. The characters are fantastic. Everything. It's what everything a summer blockbuster should be, and more. Do you know what I mean? It's not just a great film. It's a near perfect film with everything you could ever want from a Spider-Man film.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant, and I want to see it again. I wrote on this big tangent about how it's brilliant, and I'm using all these different labels and stuff. Like, this is brilliant, this is fantastic. It's good. I can't remember anything else.
But I had what I'm going to say, but then I just immediately forgot it when I was about to say it. And I was like, oh. That's unfortunate.
Well, we've got a good hour and 5 minutes of you saying everything else is pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Plus a bit of banter at the start, so I think that's justified.
Justified, yes.
Right. Sorry, everyone at home, if you've got headphones on. That was my Pepsi's doing. I do apologize, but yeah, you ready to wrap up? Because I think this has been fun. This has been brilliant. This is what I look forward to every Sunday, waking you up. But even though you were awake at the time, anyways, which it perplexed me. It really did. I was confused. I was like, Robert's out of bed. What is?
I broke the cannon.
You do? Have you? Yeah. Have you gone against a canon event?
I have.
Was this entire podcast not supposed to happen?
For me now.
This whole podcast was not supposed to happen, Robert.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. We're going to get arrested by the TVA. I think
going to choke slam me.
I think Jaden's dodged this one. Or no, he's already being interrogated by the TVA right now. Or Miguel's got him. Don't know why it's Jaden's fault. It's Jaden's.
It just is.
It just is fault. Should we say hi to Jaden if he's listening at home? Hello, Jaden.
Hi, Jaden.
You're right, mate. I know he's probably still got his hangover right now, so I reckon what he's hearing right now is just faint echoes. Because they're all beers. Okay. Christ almighty, Jaden. Drink some fucking water. Drink some.
Yeah.
Right, I've got a curry in the microwave.
Monsters, man.
He does, yeah. Well, I bet imagine if he comes home after a long night thinking, "Oh God, I'm drunk. I'm thrown up. I've got piss running down my thigh. I'm gonna go to sleep." And he just says, "Cannot sleep. There are monsters nearby."
I imagine what it's actually like living in
Australia. Oh, Jaden, I bet he's had a long night out and he's calls an Uber and like a scorpion with like a carriage appears, like a giant scorpion or Godzilla.
Yeah.
Or like
it's actually true, you know. These things actually live in Australia.
They do. Everything bad ever is in Australia. In terms of creatures. God, imagine you know what? We're just bullying him at this point. Shall we go? Because I've got a curry in the microwave, and this podcast wasn't supposed to happen anyways. Plus, viewers at home have probably turned it off after we said, "Right, let's wrap up." No one's. This is. We could say anything at this point, and no one would know. We could say literally anything.
We could.
But
we could cancel ourselves, but
we could. But I'm not going to risk that because I've got plenty of. I've already told one of my stories, and I won't go down that rabbit hole any further. Do you know what I mean? I've got plenty of stuff that can either get me cancelled, well, not arrested, but just it's twaddle is what it is. Right? I've got a curry in the microwave. This has been fun. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening, and we will see you in the next one. Peace out.